Welcome to the second part of the risk assessment. So, in the first part, we discuss name of organization, site location, description, number of workers, and area to be included. So, here you will score full 4 marks easily. It's not a difficult thing, just focus on the points and you'll get 1 mark for each point. So, now moving to the second portion of this part. So, how risk assessment was carried out? Now, they are also advising this should include sources of information consulted and how you identified the hazards. So, now I told you earlier we have to focus on the guidance all the time. So, here they are mentioning clearly sources of information. This should include documentation or people that you consulted before and during the risk assessment process. Example policies, procedures. So, how you carried out the risk assessment. So, they want to know your knowledge. If you are going on actual risk assessment, how you will carry out. So, this has 3 marks. So, make sure you write minimum 4 points and maximum go for the 5 points. Don't write too much, it's not beneficial because we need to score at least 3 points. That should consult the major sections. Now, I'll go to the our format. Let's I will write in the bullet, you can write in the paragraph. The main important thing is you have to mention all the sources. First of all, I carried out risk assessment. I'm writing simple English by getting help and guidance from various sources. Here also you can mention NEBOSH guidance also. This document we are studying here, Unit IGC2 Risk Assessment Guidance. Also you can mention this one, but better you go for the external sources. Like health and safety policy. Now, what is our organization name of HCC? Previous risk assessments that were available in HSC health and safety. You will write HSC documentation because they want to be realistic. So you have to mention the sources as per realistic. Permit to work system records. Here you can also mention the web links like then I went through internet where I found hsc.gov.uk. This is the official website provided by NEBOSH for carrying out the risk assessment, where I found several guidance documents. Now I will show you some of the links how you can search. This is Chrome. So uh, here, if you go hsc.gov.uk, you will find a one web page that will guide you to health and safety documentation. Now you can search. For example, we have manual handling. You will find this document manual handling at work. Simply, you can copy this one. I followed this document manual handling at work and then paste here. Example manual handling at work, and meanwhile you if you want you can also post the link that the examiner knows that you are following the. Now when you will enter, it will become blue. That means this is a web link. Same, you can say work at height. What are our hazards? We mentioned here the process to be included in the risk assessment. You can mention excavation activities and others. Others means all the other activities you can mention. Then you can, the other most important link is ILO. I also went through ILO. ILO is International Labor Organization. Now there's a specific convention in the ILO. ILO C167. This convention is specifically related to health and safety in construction. Simply you can copy this convention and again mention there. So this will also work. See, here you can copy where I found ILO C167 that provided me information regarding legal requirements. So meanwhile, like this you have to mention. Then you can mention I also went through accident records, near miss reports, and some other document, equipment manuals, etc. So you can write a lot of documents. To get more information, I held a meeting with HSE manager to get guidance on major hazards at site. So like this, you can, this HSE, more links you can put here. So a lot of documentation, this area will cover. So at least if you will write 3-4 points, you will get full marks in this section. Now next section, it's easy how you identified the hazard. Here you can mention interviews, meetings, everything. I will mention here so you can get interviews, meetings, everything that you do, that is a source of information. Now we'll go how you identified the hazard. After my visit, after identifying sources of information, I personally went, here also you need to have a 3 point, went for site inspection. Now I will write in bullets where I speak with supervisors, make physical inspection of scaffolding. What else we can write here? Inspection of excavation activities, because we mentioned excavation upside and its controls in place. I carried HSE hazards manual while visiting and marked different hazards with brief description and took photos for future reference. Then what else you can do? You can do physical inspection. See what the guidance says. Guidance is methods used for the risk assessment, like workplace inspection. So workplace inspection we already included. You carried out the manual. Then you can say observing work activities, different work activities. You can mention, you can give examples, excavation and different manual handling, because you will include all these hazards in the hazard section. Checked, permit to work, and site and comparison and compared with site conditions. So you have to verify permit to work in place, it is associated or no. Uh, Inspect different equipment. What else? Maintenance records and checklist. And finally, you can also mention speaking with workers and accessing their skill regarding activity they perform. Because you will know if they are not competent, they are not experienced, they cannot perform that activity. So these are some of the methods. You can use as much method as you can, but 3 marks will be for the 4 or 5 methods, like workplace inspection, like speaking to the workers, like physical inspection, like checking. So all these things would be counted as a 3 mark. Let's go to the next section. I will just write one hazard, two, three hazards, different types, so you can understand. Before going to this section, you have to write date of your risk assessment. Make sure this date is realistic, because in future you have to do the date. For example, exam date is uh, 2nd of July 2026. Write this date, no issue. You carried out this risk assessment on this date, and also try to keep it a working day. It's not an issue as per NEBOSH, but try to keep it a working day. Now we will move to the second. I will just explain to you the hazard section today. Here you have to write 10 hazards from 5 categories. Try to make 10 different categories, but 5 categories also okay. Categories I will explain to you now, then we will write the hazard in the next video. Let's go to the categories section. So these are the hazard categories. So one I will write for you. See, hazard category. Here you have to write only category from that section that I show you. Don't write from yourself anything. So first, for example, I think noise. And here hazard category, you have to write noise. For example, second, I decide vibration. So I will write vibration. So first decide what hazards you found in this all section. So now we will discuss the categories, and later on we will discuss about how each categories we need to put. So noise is actually uh, should be below 70 decibels, or at least 80 decibels maximum at the construction site. If you have more noise, that means it is beyond legal limits. I mentioned ILO in upside. So noise you all know. Now I will explain little bit. Noise means that the noise is louder than 80 decibels. Then you have vibration, for example, jackhammering activities, or equipment operators are exposed to full body vibration. So this one. Then you have radiation. Radiation is of two types. One is UV radiation, like if you have ultraviolet source or anything. One is from the light, from the sparks. So these are kind of radiations. This one I will try in a different video, that I show you the slide of every kind of hazard. You might be studying in your NEBOSH class, so you maybe you have these slides earlier. Then you have mental ill health. You have more working hours. You are working beyond your working hours, or they are giving unrealistic targets. So mental ill health is about that. Violence at work, beating someone, abusing, making bad words. So this is violence. Substance abuse, the use of drugs, the use of something, alcohol or any kind of drug. This is substance abuse. Work related upper limb disorders. This is very common among the people who are working in the office. So you can write disorders, because sitting in the chair, making repetitive actions like typing over the keyboard or uh, typewriter, anything like that. Or also in the other industry, like for example, Furniture industry, they are repeatedly doing some activity, so it will cause ruled, WRULD, work related upper limb disorders. Manual handling, carrying the loads manually like normal laborers or workers do. Then load handling equipment is the crane, anything lifting, forklift, uh, any kind of lifting, mechanical lifting aid like crane, tower crane, mobile crane, crawler crane, all this lies in this one section. Hazardous substances, asbestos, you all know. In the old time it was used, but it is banned now. Bloodborne viruses, if you are choosing some hospital, clinic, some kind of medical facility, this would be common. Carbon monoxide is a gas. So whatever is falling, wood dust is very much common. Silica in the cement work, concrete work. So you have to choose this hazard. If it is welfare facilities like toilets, like clean area for eating, sufficient toilets, adequate facilities, water, clean drinking water is not provided, then you are lacking welfare and working environment. Working at height, you all know, if someone is working over the scaffold, above 1.8 meter is considered as work at height. Confined space, the deep space or tanks or silos, it will lie in the confined space. Lone working, if someone is working alone, most probably in remote areas or where there's no access of medical facilities and no one is checking. So this is also a hazard there. Slip and trip, trips mostly from the tools leaving over the walkways, then the trailing cables and slips, you all know, from the water, from spillage, oil spillage, especially in the uh, workshops. This is common. Movement of people and vehicle in the workplace. If vehicles and people are using the same kind of same gate to enter, same path, walking equipment operator is busy and is not watching, so this hazard would be common for this place. Work related driving for the logistic companies that involve transportation, like food deliveries, like transport of goods. So all this would lie here. And then tools, all the hand tools like hammer, saw, anything you are using by hand is will lie in this category. Then machinery, any kind of machinery as it like, they don't have guard, they don't have maintenance. This would fall in machinery hazard. Then we have a fire, any kind of fire in the offices. Fire is common hazard for all the workplaces. This is should be priority hazard in your risk assessment. Electricity is also common because hand power tools, computers, every kind of industry involve electricity. So this hazard also common. You will know how to write these hazards, and if anyone needs slides regarding these hazards about description of each hazard, so I will provide you. You can drop your email. And secondly, you can also search what is noise hazard, what is vibration hazard over the HSC. Anywhere you will find these hazards. So this section you have 21 categories. At least you have to use 5 categories. For example, manual handling. For example, work at height. You can repeat 2 times. For example, I write noise there, and again I can write noise here. How? But they should be different. Here I will write noise produced from jackhammering activity. You can also provide more detailed description that is carried out daily in zone B. You can divide zone B, excavation area, whatever. Here, there, this noise hazard should be different. Excessive noise is produced from diesel generators. So this is a different hazard used for power tools. So you can repeat the noise hazard, but should be a separate hazard, not the same hazard. So like this. So in the next session, we will try to write 4 or 5 hazards. I will explain to you hazard category, hazard description that we have done already, but we will do it again. So every hazard category, if you will use 5 categories, they will give you 5 marks. If you will give description of all, 10 marks. So 15 marks here easily you will score. Who might be harmed? For every who might be harmed, you have 1 mark. For every how is 1 mark. So in this area, you have too much to score. 30, 40, 50, 60, 65. Only if you do this section good, you can pass the risk assessment without doing good the first and the third section. This section itself will make you pass. So this is all about today's session. It's been long. So in the next session, I will explain to you this section in detail. So everyone can pass only from the this section. It's easy. Thank you. See you in the next video.